What if your low desire isn't hormonal? What if it isn't aging and it isn't a libido problem at all? What if it's something you haven't named yet? In this video today, we're going to talk about why women experience desire very differently than men. At least one of the reasons why women experience desire differently than men. Most women don't lose desire, they lose safety. And no one is really talking a lot about that. We talk about libido, we talk about hormones, we're talking about frequency, but we rarely talk about the nervous system in relation to the sexual response cycle, especially in female desire, because desire cannot exist where the body does not feel safe. So, first, let's define it clearly. Emotional safety is not agreeing on everything in your relationship with your partner. It's not about, oh, we never argue. It's not a constant reassurance. Emotional safety is this it is, I can be fully myself here and I will not be punished for it. So when you're emotionally safe, you have this feeling, this vulnerable feeling that you can be fully yourself in this situation, in this relationship, and you're not going to be punished for that. And what I mean by punished, punishments can look like your partner withdrawing from you, there being an uproar of them being very critical. So, criticism is a part of that punishment, that sarcasm in the relationship with little smart comebacks and remarks. Or maybe they'll have a emotional shutdown, some form of betrayal, or just this indifference, this feeling of indifference in the relationship. All of those are examples of emotional unsafety. And when that safety is compromised, something happens, the nervous system shifts into protection mode. And that's its job. That is the nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do to help us. And protection shuts down erotic energy because our bodies are wired to ask one question first, and that is, am I safe? Am I safe? And the body does this very, very well. And I've learned that the body keeps score with this. It keeps a record of our safety. Am I safe? Only after that does it then ask, am I open? So first the body is looking to see if it is safe. And then afterwards, am I open enough to do whatever it is? Am I open to this desire or this sexual experience? So here's where it gets very, very important, especially again, we're talking about women and women's desire. Women's desire or a woman's desire is highly context dependent. Context meaning the environment, the situation, what is actually going on in this relationship. Women's desire, we are relationally responsive creatures by nature. It's all about the relational system. And so this means that for us, desire does not live in isolation. It responds to the environment. I have talked to so many women about this, and they will, well, I had to do this and I had to do that. And I mean, it's all about the environment, what they feel it's going on in this. Again, the context, the relational responsiveness. If there is unresolved resentment and emotional disconnection, I mean, it can be things as simple as we haven't been communicating with each other lately. We used to talk all the time, you used to text and call, and now none of that is happening. So we're feeling an emotional disconnection, broken trust. I don't trust you. Something happened the phone rang at 2 a.m. in the morning and something is going on. I'm not feeling that trust. It's been broken. Chronic stress on her part. She may have something going on at her job, something with the children. The dishes need to be washed, things need to be cleaned. We have something going on in our household where bills may not be paid. Chronic stress, feeling unseen in the relationship. And sometimes for a woman, feeling unseen can be, like let's say, for example, after she gives birth and she is not feeling attractive in her own skin or confident in her own body. So she can have a sense in her own self of feeling unseen or not even wanting to be seen. The body's going to go quiet and it's not broken. We don't have a sexual dysfunction going on. It's just quiet. And this is not a form of manipulation, because as the significant other, they can tend to feel a rejection or even feel as if this is some form of punishment, but it's actually a regulation of the body doing this within itself. And many women don't even realize this is happening. I was in that very, very situation, going to the doctor, trying to figure out what was going on. And from the woman's perspective, she doesn't want it either. She know like I have not been feeling like I want to connect. And they know like I had someone I was speaking with the other day. I know that this is something I need to be doing. I don't want my husband to feel as if I don't want him, but something is going on. Something is wrong. And again, it goes back to this woman feeling as if something is wrong with her because she doesn't realize what is actually happening in her body, that this is a regulation. All they know is, I love him, but I don't feel like it. I love him. I know that this is something that is important for our relationship or our marriage, but I don't feel it. There's the gap. That's usually safety. So let me just say this. You can truly love someone deeply and still not feel safe enough to open. Those are two different systems in the body working. Love is more so, if I had to describe it like this, love is a part of the attachment bond. And we know with attachment, we have secure, avoidant, anxious, that bond. And so love is somewhere in that attachment. And depending on where it lies, this is where desire begins to can feel unsafe because desire is about vulnerability and love is connected to that attachment. So if we're having some anxiousness, some avoidance, that place of unsafety, vulnerability requires safety. Now, let's remember back to the previous video that I did, the gas and the brakes model we talked about. Desire has accelerators. This is your goal. We're pressing the gas, everything's flowing well. It's a go. We have a green light, but it also has brakes. And this is the red light. This is the stop. Emotional unsafety is one of the strongest brakes in the female system. Your brakes are criticism, it's pressure, unresolved betrayal is a massive break in a relationship for the female system. Feeling emotionally alone, that's a break. And here's the thing, you cannot press the gas harder to override the brake. And that is the position that most of us take when we get in this situation. We try to just press and press that gas harder, thinking that that desire is going to be stimulated and we're going to get to arousal, and it does not override those brakes. This is why pressure kills desire. You're not in a position where you need more stimulation. You need fewer threats to the system. You need fewer threats. So we have to start looking at the threats, looking at the breaks. So let me ask you this. When When was the last time you felt completely emotionally safe in your relationship? And again, you don't have to respond here. This is something that I just want to ask you to sit with and even maybe sit with this with your spouse. Not about being stable, not about being secure on paper, but safe enough to actually relax and soften and feel vulnerable. Emotional safety looks like repair after conflict. It looks like being accountable without the defensiveness, because when that defensiveness gets into play, we're not being accountable. We're still going to be emotionally unsafe. Repair isn't happening. Emotional presence. It looks like consistency, being chosen in public and in private, feeling a sense of being desired and not managed. Safety is one of those things that is built slowly, especially once once it's had conflict and issues. It has to build back slowly. And if trust has been broken, my goodness, especially through some form of betrayal or emotional abandonment, it takes an even higher ratio of positive experiences to rebuild that trust again. I'm going to have to come back and do a talk on that. Research in relationship science suggests that healthy relationships often operate around this 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. So when trust has been damaged, it's going to take even more of those positives. So that's in a healthy relationship. You have 5-to-1, 5 positives to 1 negative. So if something has been broken, if betrayal has set in, if there's been emotional abandonment, you're going to have to do way more than just your typical 5-to-1 when that trust has been damaged. It's going to take a whole lot more. Safety is not just making a promise, safety is a pattern. It has to be built. It has to be built. So if you're being honest with yourself right now, does your body feel relaxed in your relationship or is it guarded? Now, this is just for you to pause and be aware so that you and your significant other can start having some honest conversations around intimacy. Again, it's not about blame, but it's about restoring the balance between the accelerators and the brakes. So, here's what I want women to understand. If your desire feels distant, you're not broken. You may not have a sexual dysfunction. And I really want us to consider this. Your body may just be protecting you. And the solution isn't about performing better. It's not about more pressure. It's creating conditions where safety can return to your system. Because when a woman feels safe, her desire does not have to be forced, honey. It's going to rise. It's going to feel very, very natural. Your gas light is going to be on. It's going to be a green light, and you're going to be ready to go. So, we're building this conversation here step by step, this series. Stay close and return for more.